All right, we gotta set that clock.
What's the matter?
It says 6:59 on there. All right, call the meeting to order. And we'll start by reminding you that it's being recorded. Yeah. I'm looking for my agenda.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. It's being recorded. Roll call.
Ed,
Yep.
Mike,
Yep.
I'm here, Kathy? Yes. Doug?
Yes. All right, public participation on agenda items. Don't all jump at once. Yep.
Kelly Grimes, Highland Avenue. I have a question about 16 on new business, motion to advertise for a tenant for the new maintenance building.
Yeah.
I thought that was to be used for the township's equipment. So that's why it was built.
I don't know, we got buildings that they put the equipment in, but we're strapped, so we thought maybe that would be a way to generate some cash.
One thing we need to check on before we do that is whether that building was built with Act 13 funds, and we turn it into a rental building. And I have reviewed the financial condition of the township, and we're not in that strapped condition anymore, like you were saying.
You know, we are after today. We pay bills. After the bills are
Well, I
deducted,
understand
then yes.
That was minor, but it's certainly not in the panic range by any means.
Anybody else?
And you got 400,000 plus coming in July or June, that 13 payment.
But as you like to remind us, those are only used for certain things.
That's right, there was a wide category of things you can use for.
Actually, okay.
We'll get there.
My view of the Act 13 money is it ain't ours. It's theirs.
Right, you know, public project, absolutely.
So we can't use it for a slush fund and just do whatever we want.
No, it's less fun, there's such a thing as fun.
It should go back to them. That's to compensate them for having to follow 5 water trucks home every night, or whatever.
To be used to benefit the public. Absolutely.
All right. Any other public comment on agenda items?
Yeah, I have a question,
Yeah.
because Doug is right. You paid for that, we paid for that building out of Act 13. Now you're gonna make it into a profit building.
I don't know that we paid for it out of Act 13. Do you?
Yes, we did.
Okay.
That's me, I was here.
Well, you seemed unsure when you
No.
were, oh,
I'm not unsure.
okay. All right, so we'll have to check.
Yeah, I would think you would wanna check into that and not get yourselves in trouble. Because anything I read on Act 13, it's not to be used for profit for the town.
Building was built with intent, and most of these folks actually sat here during some of the meetings where we met with a contractor. It was to protect our equipment and protect our investment. There were, in fact, some Facebook posts to the contrary, I think Mrs. Croft could tell you more about it, that were complaining because we hadn't moved ahead at Mr. McAdoo's suggestion with the building.
It's true, but the building sits there, and we've been in it 3 times, and each time it only holds 2 tractors.
It's not, that's phase 1 of the building. Phase 2, phase 3, this board, I brought it up to this board doesn't seem to want to move ahead with it.
And it was discussed with the board about starting the next phases, and nothing's ever happened. And didn't we pay for that out of some of the county money, or was it
I think it was all.
No, that was all Act 13.
It was all Act 13.
Anybody else? Yeah,
What is the current status of the building? and
State
what-
your name.
If it's only in phase one, JD Martin. What's the next phase? I haven't been in it or seen it, I've seen it driving by, that's it.
Only from,
Why aren't we
only
using
from
it?
discussions, JD, it was, the next phase would either be insulation, and then with the wiring and the conduit over top. And there was some, that was the discussion that we had. That was gonna be the next phase, is moving the electric and or the insulation.
But couldn't you still be housing the equipment and keeping it in there out of the weather or
I don't know,
without
I don't know what's
electric?
in it, I've never been in that building. Yeah.
anybody else? Going once? Ed? Oh, I thought you raised your hand.
Just move them on.
Don't do that.
Don't be so.
It's like an auction.
Like an auction, you
Yeah.
own something.
Yeah, Tammy.
Doug, wasn't there water line extension funds that were set aside and then they were used towards the building when the water line extension project was no longer gonna take place on
We
the
cut
ridge?
loose some of those county funds, and they may have gone into that
Cause
project.
that's grant money.
Absolutely might, yeah, absolutely might have. I remember that now you bring that up.
Yeah, Nathan Vortex, I think.
Yeah, we had it set aside for the Dry Ridge project, and I'm not remembering, but I know we cut it loose from the Dry Ridge project when the residents indicated they didn't want water. Seemingly didn't want water.
Because I know that, engineer, what was his name? Bill Herman's running the Jansen Road project, the other one, Bill, what was your buddy's name up there, not Gordon?
Bill Ron?
Bill
Bill
Braun. Had to go through Nathan Vortex for the, payments through the county.
Yeah, I don't know whether we cut loose for that project or the roof project, I'm not sure. It came from someplace, some that came from someplace else. That's something that have to be checked on, I'm sure.
Anybody else? Wow. That's it. We're moving on. Approval of the minutes from 2 meetings. Well,
One started meeting.
one wasn't a really meeting, but May 21st and May 29th. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes
Both? For both?
for both meetings, the 21st and
Both
the
dates.
29th of May 2018.
Second.
How do you vote?
Now that you,
Oh.
question on the motion. Now that you got a motion and a second, on one of those minutes that I abstained on the vote on the minutes, I'd just like to have it added in the minutes that I abstained, and I stated at the time, abstained because I was not at that meeting which took place.
That's the one on the 29th, Doug?
I think it's on the second one, yeah.
Yeah, okay, I put you abstained, but I can add that.
Yeah, just add the fact that I was not present,
Oh, that one?
yeah. Otherwise, I'll
That's
probably
fine.
need to attach something to the minutes if the code provides that that's been, something attached to minutes stating the reasons.
So Mike, do you want to amend your motion?
Yeah. Want to approve the minutes of May 21st and 29th with the change of Doug's abstaining,
His explanation for.
for his explanation of abstaining on the approval of minutes.
Kathy, do you still second that motion?
Yes.
Anything else? How do you vote?
Kathy?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
I vote yes. Ed?
Yep.
Doug?
Doug,
Yeah.
Financial reports. Approve the treasurer's report dated May 29, 2018 to June 25, 2018.
So moved.
I'll second the motion.
Discussion. How do you vote?
Kathy?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
I vote yes. Doug?
Yes.
Well, Ed?
Yep. Motion to pay bills.
So moved.
I'll second the motion.
A question on, what about the street sweeping bill? Is it in there?
It's correct,
The hours and everything's
Yes.
correct?
yeah,
And we had to pay for the moving of the equipment
back and forth.
back and forth. The hours.
Between here and Claysville and all that?
Well, they said
Well-
they brought it in from Ohio, so that was the, yeah, that was the expensive
Cool.
day.
Yeah.
Living
We'll have
there?
to, yeah,
Live and learn, yeah.
Okay. I think that's all I had.
The money that came in for the Jansen Road project and what went out was a little bit different. Was some of that, I know most of it went to Thompson Electric, was some of that engineering? Or
Yes, some of it was engineering.
Okay. That was the only
Some
thing.
of it went to Senate, yeah.
Okay. That was my only
A
question.
portion, and it was like a 1% or something.
Right, okay.
Anybody else got anything? How do you vote?
Kathy?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
I vote yes. Doug?
Yes.
Ed?
Yep.
No.
Department
I don't
reports,
think
code
it's-
enforcement.
Okay.
I think he's not here yet. He's busy.
Okay, fine.
Let's move to the engineer and we'll come back.
Phil Harmon from Senate's gonna speak about Jansen Road.
Yeah, Steve Nolan, Phil Herman, give you a little update on Jansen. I've requested of the Conservation District to come out and take a look at where we are. We placed the DSA on the drainage improvements and the wall's complete and the culvert's in. And I was up there today, I notified Mike to, let you know to get up there and take a look at it so that you can let me know what things need to be done. There's a lot of restoration that needs to be done alongside of the road. I've told the contractor that the shoulders need to be built up and the road needs to be backed up, and there's a crossing pipe that he put in that needs to be finalized. It's settled when they brought in the 12 trucks of DSA run over it. So the it's not done yet, but the invoice that's been submitted to you is for the contractor's completion less retentions. So he hopes to be done with everything by tomorrow. But again, that's kind of a stretch, especially with some of the restoration that needs to be done. So, but he hopes to have the roadway, the rock placed, and everything else done by tomorrow. So I'd like you to, right now he's got equipment parked in it, so it's not like you can go up and drive it. But that should be, as of tomorrow, it should be stable enough and completed enough that we can remove the road closed signs. And then get up there at your earliest convenience. And Ed, take a look at it, let me know what you got.
Road supervisor's at mine.
What?
Steve is our new road supervisor.
Oh, okay, Steve and
Yeah,
Ed.
but him and
I know
Ed
Ed is right there, so,
Yeah,
so, and Steve, and get a hold, let me know, and, if we could get up there tomorrow, because if we could tell the contractor, don't take your equipment out, because here's what you gotta do. And then, while I was there today, I talked to Sharon. I didn't really intend on coming to the meeting until I got a phone call from Gordon, and he wanted me to read a prepared statement because I know very little, if nothing, about the Tunnel Ridge waterline issue. It's very brief. And I don't expect any kind of decision, and I apologize that I can't really answer any questions about, but I think it speaks for itself. And then you can bring it into your decision-making at the time that you intend to make that decision. But here's how it reads. First, I was supposed to introduce myself. I said thanks for that, Gordon. But it says, on behalf of Tunnel Ridge LLC, we are requesting approval of Waynesburg Road waterline design in order for Tunnel Ridge to proceed with construction. It is our understanding that Tunnel Ridge and the township solicitor have approved, maybe it's the wrong word, but have had because I heard you talking about some language, but that was the word he wrote. I wrote it down verbatim. Have approved the agreement for the water line and booster station. Tunnel Ridge will authorize Senate Engineering to proceed with the booster station design to be approved by Widmer Engineering and submitted to DEP for permitting. Construction of the booster station will commence upon receipt of all permits. And I appreciate Mike got me on the agenda quickly, and I understand that you have probably much more discussion on that topic. But that was the statement that I was asked to read by a Evan Midler. So I've read it.
You did it.
Yeah. Okay, that's all I have.
And apparently you take dictation.
I read the shorthand too. But if there's any questions on anything other than that, because I honestly don't know anything about the water line and the booster station.
I just have one question on the Jensen Road. You mentioned something about another phase that we could apply for or something?
Yes, in fact, they're aggressively pursuing applications. Normally, they only have 3 application periods during any one calendar year, but they've increased that, and there's no fixed deadline. So the application's very.
Who do we contact?
Abby Kiefer.
And I am correct that Ed has to help us to sign off because he is certified in dirt and gravel.
That is correct.
Okay.
There's a I think it's 2-day training program that needs to be attended, and that certified individual needs to basically is the applicant.
We've actually tried to contact Abby and have not.
She has not returned our calls.
Yeah.
I've experienced that same thing since last Wednesday. So, but normally I've been able to get a hold of her. But it's right online. The application's very simple, and it can be handwritten. But normally the estimates and some of the attachments, we try to get a little fancy, with some USGS stuff and some site stuff. But the actual work plan is actually it's a sketch that can be done by hand right on their form. Very simple, easy to do. But if anybody wants any help with it, I've done several. Well, I've done 4. I've been successful with 2, with 2 different conservation districts. So please, if you would like any help, let me know. Because I kind of know that road now, and would be nice to get that lower section done, and then the second phase we'd always intended was to continue up the hill also. So just let me know if you need any help.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's see. Can we do code enforcement now?
I'm going to report the code enforcement.
Thanks, Mike.
Today. We had 4 occurrences with a citation was issued for accumulated trash and garbage in West Alexander. We had one event of hauling without a permit and 2 soliciting without permits. The tunnel ridge, or the tunnel under Tunnel Ridge now, the tunnel underneath West Alexander. I finally got some feedback from Washington County. In a recent conversation, they physically inspected the tunnel. The material that seemed to be loose, falling loose, is concrete foam filler, and the tunnel appears to be structurally sound. They're scheduling some cleaning and maintenance, but they don't have anything set on that. And that's really all I have on ordinance, or on code enforcement.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
VFD.
In May, we answered 28 calls for service. We gave mutual aid 9 times, received mutual aid 5 times. 7 of those calls were overlapping, meaning we had more than 1 call at a time. Our average response time from dispatch to on scene was 9 minutes and 12 seconds for all calls. Of those calls, we had 2 building fires, 1 passenger vehicle fire, 1 brush fire, 8 EMS calls, 3 motor vehicle crashes, 2 with motor vehicle crash with no injury, 3 hazardous conditions, 1 hazmat call, 1 power line down. 1 time we assisted the police, 1 assist invalid, 1 standby, and 3 times we were canceled, dispatching canceled en route. And on those calls, and including training work details, we utilized 826 man-hours in the month of May. That's all I have there.
All right, thank you. You got a marshal's thing?
Yeah, we tested the fire alarm system last week in the building here. It does ring the audible alarms in the building. It does call my cell phone and Tom Teagarden's cell phone. And that's it. So
My understanding, there was 3 numbers on there. Did we ever figure out who the 3rd number was?
We thought John was on it, but I found a note in there that said Doug was on it, but it didn't call Doug. So I don't know.
Okay.
I don't
Do we
know.
need to add that, or is it a
Well,
worry?
We've already, if I might, we've already had a conversation with the guy that does the system.
Oh.
It's just a matter of him getting a few minutes to come in here and
Just
get
curious.
what needs done. Yes, sir.
I think what the board needs to consider at some point is actually upgrading the fire alarm system that goes to our monitoring company that can be dispatched. You know, we've only, since this system's in, we've only had 1 alarm here. But, you know, if I'm on vacation, I turn my phone off. I
I
don't,
was gonna ask.
you know what I mean? So I might, if I'm on vacation for a week, I might check it once during the week and that's it. Otherwise, I don't want to talk to anybody. I'm on vacation, you know? So, and it could be the same, you know, I think it's,
Can one of the numbers be county dispatch?
no. They won't take an automated phone call. I'd have to go through a monitor. Now, I believe they still do monitor some alarms,
Yeah.
but I'm sure that's at a cost, and I can have that conversation with them and see. But, yeah, I'd have to ask them how that works with them. So.
The only fire we had, it worked.
Right,
I don't know if it was fire with smoke.
well, I don't,
Other than the second one.
somebody pulled the pull station, though, it didn't.
Yeah.
Well, that's the other issue, I guess I have with this, is that the only smoke and or heat detector, and I'm not even sure which one it is on one end of this hallway downstairs. But I'm sure that was put in before the doors were put in, so it doesn't even cover both ends of the hallway. And I don't believe there's anything in any of the offices or anywhere else, it's just in the hallway.
There was
So-
some alarms added upstairs.
And I
Yeah,
didn't
when
go
they-
upstairs because they were gone, we waited till everybody was gone upstairs before we tested it, so we didn't,
Yeah, I mean, we put in that, new other alarms in the building, I know.
yeah.
I don't-
So-
Should be some paperwork in the office
Yeah.
on it.
So some improvements are, I think some improvements are needed, would be wise. So,
Thank you. Office and water.
Office, not much to report. The Phase 2 pump station is back up and running,
Sounds loop.
and the loop is running too. It
They
just,
did call me.
yeah, they got that done too.
Any movement on the increase?
No,
No?
they haven't.
Haven't contacted us.
What about, did we have any takers on our meter reader ad?
No, but Rich has been able to cover it a little, so that's working for now.
Okay, police department.
Yes, sir. This is for the month of May. Let's see, in May, Donegal Township Police Department provided approximately 782 man-hours of service. That includes our overtime report. 352 events and approximately 169 calls for service. We initiated 13 criminal investigations to include a simple assault, 5 harassments, 1 criminal mischief, 2 trespasses, 1 fleeing, 1 DUI, 1 identity theft, and 1 disorderly conduct. Property loss for the month was only reported at $300, and there was 0 money recovered for property loss in the month. Here's a typo. Officers conducted 43 traffic stops, investigated 1 traffic accident. They issued 21 traffic citations, 6 non-traffic citations, and filed 3 criminal complaints. The officers patrolled approximately 4,713 miles, used approximately 372 gallons of gas, and that again is in combination with all our contracts. We did code enforcement. Tunnel Ridge. The fines collected by the magistrate are reflected in here. I've attached copies of the Claysville and Buffalo report, like I always do with the copy that I've turned in. As the hardware updates are done on our computers, the July 19th meeting of 2017, the board approved us buying a new records management system. But up until this point, there's been no point moving ahead with it because we couldn't support it. Everything's in place, and if I remember correctly, I think the money was earmarked from Act 13. I'd like to move ahead with that purchase. I mean, I don't think it needs a vote.
I was gonna say, I thought we already voted on it, right?
Yeah, but I mean, I'm just
Yeah.
basically checking with the board to make sure that there's no immediate concerns. Okay, then we'll move ahead with it. I'm asking the board to consider amending the solicitation ordinance. It covers door-to-door solicitation, and we've had several occurrences where folks just don't want people coming to their house. They don't want people coming up knocking on their door. They don't care whether they have a permit or not. They're just uncomfortable with it and they don't want it. And it's getting more and more difficult to verify that these people that are applying for the permit are legitimate and represent who they claim they represent and doing what they claim they're doing. So I'd like the board to at least consider, at least from my department standpoint.
You get a lot of door-to-door people coming door-to-door on my street, and I usually, if I get the call or they answer the door, first thing I ask for is to see the permit. I've never seen a permit.
No, we've
I've never
seen
seen one from anybody that I've ever asked.
Yeah.
First thing I ask them, after your permit.
That's what I'm saying. It's almost impossible to keep up with who they are and what they're really doing, let alone everybody's going around. We chased two guys in a red van around for about a month. They were working for Kirby Sweeper. They really are Kirby Sweeper guys. We actually issued a permit to them. But I mean, it just, the people that were calling and complaining about them didn't really care if they had a permit or not. They just didn't want them there.
What's your suggestion on the change?
Now, this is my opinion.
I don't think we can put the Jehovah's Witness out of business.
Well, no, sir. No, sir. I don't, you already make exception for Girl Scout cookies and, and religious, yeah. I think what I'm asking you to do is look at the ordinance and see what your thoughts are on about eliminating the actual door-to-door for business profit section of it. And the board may not be in agreement with it.
You're saying prohibit door-to-door sales?
Yes, sir.
You said Claysville does that already?
No, Claysville allows it. Buffalo, you have to apply the year before. So if you want to solicit sometime during this year in Buffalo Township, you have to have applied for the permit the year prior.
What about, say, the Swans man?
He doesn't generally just knock on your door.
He's not just walking up the street. He's going
but he's going door to door for profit. Yeah, and that's what I'm
asking you guys to look into.
Yeah.
So
I hate cutting anybody's business opportunity. I'm not.
I think Schwann's.
I understand.
Requested to come?
Well, yeah, and Schwann's has a big Schwann's on the side of the truck. The problem is the guys going around in the van, and then the older people are getting scared, and then everybody's calling the police, everybody's calling the township, and then they come and get their permit, and they give you a really fuzzy photo ID that could be anybody at that point.
It's just something I want you guys to
look into. Okay.
Let's see, what else? Okay, so finally, I'm going to ask the board to consider drafting and adopting an ordinance that allows us to hold a landlord responsible for a nuisance tenant. What I'm giving you is a copy of an ordinance from Charleroi Borough. I'm not suggesting that that's exactly, all it is it kind of gives you an idea of the direction I'm going with this. Over the 5 years that I've been here, you guys are getting more and more rental property. And there are a lot of folks that have been in their homes for a long time that have rental properties going in beside them now. And the people that are renting sometimes don't have the same accountability as somebody that's invested in the property. And you can cite them, if they're disorderly, you can cite them for being disorderly. If they're being loud, you can cite them for being loud. But at the end of the day, there's no real lever over them. What I'd like to do is I'd like to get, if you own a piece of rental property, I'd like you to be involved in that process. And what I've given you is really the only thing that I've come across so far that even works in that direction. If you guys would look through that at your leisure, and then call me and give me any thoughts that you have on it, I'd appreciate it.
Aren't the owners responsible anyways for the property?
They're responsible for the property, but let's say that you lived on this street.
Give me an example of what you're aiming at. Yes, Give me an example of what would fall in that category.
Going back constantly to a house time after time
So if you had people that
for
were
loud
repeatedly
arguing and
disorderly,
drunk and
you
disorderly.
could hold the landlord responsible for their action.
Once it's brought to the landlord's attention, I think they should be involved in the process, yes, sir.
And they should be cited.
If that's what we decide when we move forward with this, yeah. You have a lot of absentee landlords in the town.
I'm not opposed to if
Yeah.
you make people accountable.
No,
I'm not sure that you can,
I mean, so
I'm not sure that you can hold the landlord accountable for their tenants' behavior.
Well, I don't know.
That would make the landlord get better tenants, I think. is
Well,
the
you have
goal.
to do
Well,
that.
I mean,
that's
okay, so if you
the
have,
goal.
if the neighbors and the police or the ambulance or somebody has had repeated problems with this person, yeah, I think the landlord should be involved. And I think if they're being negligent, then they should be responsible, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's beside my house, and I'm putting up with it every night, but it's his property, and he lives in Washington and he doesn't have to listen to it.
Yeah.
There's no, it's not that it's hard